What's up, guys? Coach Vassar. Thank you for joining me with OTF Audio Daily Beats. As always, if you're new, appreciate you tuning in, listening to me talk about these workouts. If you find value in them, information is in the description to support me. We're going to break down Thursday, April 10th. This will also repeat Friday, April 25th. We're going to see endurance on the treads, a little bit of power on the rower and the weight floor, talk about the 2G, talk about the 3G, and then get you on out of here. All right, so 2G, treads. We got 3 blocks to help you train for the 12-minute tread benchmark. Build intensity in block 1. Tackle 3 4-minute tread for distances to break up the 12-minute tread benchmark. And then finish with a power bonus. Rower, we're gonna start on the rower with a 4-minute build to help build endurance, and then finish on the rower with 30-second all-outs. On the floor, 1 circuit with powerful dumbbell exercises and 2 anchor exercises that repeat each round. Dumbbells, straps, nothing too fancy. Unique thing about the 2G is the rower actually has a dynamic rowing warm-up. This is the standard warm-up that you'll generally see on the 500-meter row benchmark and the 2,000-meter row benchmark in a 3G class. They recommend writing this on a whiteboard so that way it's visible for members. So just something to keep in mind. Anyone who happens to close Wednesday night, make sure to write the board for Thursday morning for any 2G classes. The warm-up is a 250-meter base row, 10 step-out squats as they alternate left and right, 20 forward-backward hops, and they'll repeat that for the first 5 minutes. When looking at the tread side, we see 3 total blocks. Block 1 is 4 minutes. We do a 1-minute build interval. So they're gonna start just above base with a base push every minute, increase the intensity until you finish at a 1 minute all out. I've mentioned this before in the past, but anytime we have these kind of builds, yes, they give you the power walker parameters, but it is kind of awkward to be like, all right, anywhere from 1 to 6%, anywhere from 6 to 10%. So instead, I like to set up members where, hey, let's try to add 1 to 3% every minute. If they power walk, joggers, runners, could we add somewhere between like 0.1 to 0.5 or more every minute? Whatever they do the first time, continually add it. Because even though it might not be a true all out by the end, it should feel very uncomfortable. All right, so 4-minute build. Ideally, they're probably hitting orange 2.5, 3 minutes in as they lead into that 1 minute all out. They'll get a 90-second walk recovery, and then block 2 is 3 sections. 14-minute block, it's 4 minutes of work, 1 minute walk recovery. And then they'll repeat it again, 4 minutes of work, 1 minute walk recovery. And then the final 4-minute tread for distance is unique, where you will call them out to increase their speed every 60 seconds. This is one where you could have them, train to use like a conservative push, maybe like what they do for like a 2.5 or a 3-minute push in rounds 1 and 2, because they're going to try to accumulate as much distance in round 1, and then in round 2, match or beat it. So 4 minutes of work, 1 minute walk recovery really isn't quite enough to get a full recovery, so definitely hitting some threshold mindset here. Power walkers anywhere from 1% or greater. I personally would have them use the incline that they're going to do for like the 12-minute benchmark or like the 1 mile benchmark. So just kind of be aware of that. Bikes and striders, do a conservative push gear. Now the third round is where it's unique because yes, it is a 4-minute tread for distance, but every minute, can they increase their speed by 0.1? This is going to force them to essentially perform and do better than the previous rounds. At the end, check their distance after each 4-minute tread. Did they match or beat? Give those call outs, give those shout outs to those members. There's another 90-second walk recovery, and then we go into a bonus block, very standard, 30 all out, 30 walk recovery for 2.5 minutes, 3 all outs, and that's it. Maintain the all out intensity. So just send it, hold it, walk it down, repeat, walk it down, do it one more time for good measure. That's the tread side. Great day for them to kind of practice strategy for that 12-minute benchmark, knowing that it is kind of broken up into sections. They could be a little bit more aggressive here, knowing that they get those recoveries. So that way, when they do go into the benchmark next week, If this is on the 10th that you're watching this, then they know to maybe pull back a little bit. All right, looking at the rower weight floor side, like I said, rowers start with an actual rower warm up. So they are getting off the rower and back on. Most of the time, they'll probably only get about 2 rounds in of this. And then they're gonna get set up and cued with the treads. So they're gonna do a 4-minute row build. Every minute, increase intensity. So base push, push all out row. Personally, this is one where cater to the members. So whether that's cue them to increase their stroke rate, cue them to increase their leg drive, drop their split time by any means necessary, whatever you got to do. But ideally, by the end of that last 1 minute all out, they are tapped out and they are done with the rower. Block 2, long block here. There's 3 rounds. Within the rounds, the anchor movements are a strap rotational chest press and the sit-up with alternating rotation. So the rotational chest press, you'll start with the palms neutral position, regular chest press position, but as they lower down, they're gonna rotate and then press. If you want to challenge, try to have them rotate all the way to a reverse grip position and then back up. It definitely requires a lot more recruitment with that rotation. It's a good way to kind of mix it up. And then the sit up with alternating rotation, they'll sit up, rotate, back down, sit up, rotate, other side. Now, round 1, we're gonna see explosive movements here with the lateral lunge to the knee raise. That is with a dumbbell. They have 5 on one side, 5 on the other. And then they'll do it again after the anchor movement. So they're doing the movements twice. Round 2, single arm neutral grip push press with rotation. This is with 2 dumbbells though. So they'll dip, drive, rotate, press. The next rep, dip, drive, rotate, press the other side. Big thing for that one is hips and shoulders both rotate, so the back foot needs to pivot to protect the knees as they get the torso to twist. Take the torso out as an option if that bothers their knees. And then for round 3, it's a single arm hip hinge swing, 5 on one arm, 5 on the other. Then they do their anchor movement, the rotational chest press, and then do the hip hinge swing again, and then sit-ups. If they get through round 3, there's time left, they will do the 3 different dumbbell exercises. So lateral lunge knee raise, push press rotation, and the hip hinge swing. And then finally, they'll go back to the rower and finish there, and they're gonna be timed up with the treads, maintain an all-out intensity. So all-out effort rowing with a 30-second recovery. Even though there's a distance goal, I personally like to use like average watts as a guide for maintaining the all-out intensity. So have them use that stored program. The first round, once they are done, and they get it set back up, they'll see the distance and their average watts on the bottom. Try to have them keep their average watts or their instant watts higher than the average, because then their overall average will go up the next round, or at least maintain. You could also go off a distance, but a lot of times people underplay that with a 30-second all out, anywhere from 100 to 200 meters. That is quite a big range. So just, do what's going to be right for your members of what will best get them set up for understanding how to be powerful and explosive on the rower, similar to how they were supposed to be powerful and explosive on the weight floor. And that's a 2G. 3G, nothing too crazy here, nothing unique as well. So just standard warm-ups across the board. Treadmills, it's going to be the block 2. So 4-minute tread, 1-minute walk. That's block 1. Block 2, 4-minute tread, 1-minute walk. And then block 3 is speed increases every minute. So at minute 1, minute 2, minute 3, they're going to increase their speed by some capacity. And then they do finish with a 30-second all out at the end of the 4 minutes. So that last block is 4.5 minutes. So just keep that in mind. They should definitely be able to beat their distance, because not only are they increasing speed, that third block is longer. So looking at the rower, 2 blocks here, 9 minutes for block 1, 1 minute setup to get them matched up with the treads in the third block. The first block, the goal is to decrease split time every round. They have a 200-meter all-out row, followed by body weight in, out, outs. So start with the feet apart, both feet in, both feet out. That's 1. They have 10 reps. They're going to decrease the row distance by 50 meters for 3 rounds. Then they're going to do it again, and they're going to do a pulse split squat. So it's like a reverse lunge, but they're just not stepping back. So dip down, back up. They could do pulse and squats and do 10 reps total instead of 5 on each. So in total, they'll do the 200, 150, 100, back to 200, 150, 100, and then if there is any time left, row until the finisher, or until the end of the block. But in all honesty, because these are all-out effort rows, they should take some rest after the row or after that bodyweight movement. So the likelihood of getting through all 6 rounds at a true all-out effort, probably unlikely, but you might have a couple people get through that. Block 2 for the rower is timed up at the treads. 4-minute row followed by a 30-second all-out. The goal is to choose your own intensity, but decrease split time every minute. So maybe they start at base or just above base, look at their split time. Of course, it's gonna jump up and down a little bit as their consistent leg drive will kind of falter and change as they fatigue, but we wanna see a lower split time by the end. So every minute, see if they could shave off like 1 to 3 seconds from their split time until you call time. On the floor, this is the exact same block 2. So lateral lunge, knee raise, and then 2 anchor different movements, and then push preps with the anchor and hip hinge swing with the anchor movements. And then their finisher is their choice of any of the 3 dumbbell exercises. And there you have it. So Thursday, April 10th, Friday, April 25th. Good day to kind of train people for the mental toughness needed for the 12-minute tread for bench, 12 tread for distance, but as well as understanding how to better utilize leg drive to increase intensity on the rower for a build. Coach it down.